packed? Yes! Everybody, and please give it up a big easy welcome for Mr. Lynda Poynter!
Hello everybody.
Hello.
Is on?
Yes.
I expect by now you're wondering why you're here. What I've done, I bought a copy of the book to explain to you. In the beginning, there was nothing. Oh, hang on, page 20. Then it began. From nothing became nothing but two men. For it was several years before #MeToo. Two great beings in body and mind. Two great forces, born leaders with unequalled ability, immense strength, and pretty fine teeth. So clever, they both knew how long a piece of string was. How to set the clock on an 80s VCR, and even the point of a BMW iDrive system. Despite all this, they had nothing. Nothing to challenge their intellects, nothing to stretch their considerable abilities, nor, as an aside, any clean t-shirts to wear. In short, an unfulfilled problem. So one day passed. I believe it may have been a Tuesday. These two great beings decided to set about creating a universe of their own making. They set about creating stars, planets and moons, which, for reasons known only to them, they decided to name after their favourite chocolates. Galaxies were formed. The Milky Way was devised. And the bits in between were filled with dark matter, which, when finally discovered, will be called Bourneville. They competed to build bigger and more magnificent structures and populated their space with every conceivable form of planetary type, plus a few others that weren't quite to standard pattern, rings and whatnot. After a while, and with an awful lot of universe to show for it, the two of them decided to form the most stunning star system. Then, within that system, the most beautiful planet, which they called Mars, after their favourite chocolate. But they agreed they could do better by making a planet so fantastic that it would embody every conceivable thought, all ideas. A super planet, a perfect world which they put in the solar system, just left of the aurora borealis and within sight of Ursa Major. They then had a right old barney about the name, trying to choose between Twix and Kit Kat. But couldn't agree, so called it Planet Earth, named after all the muddy stuff they put all over it, but they got fed up with adding C. Although relatively small in size, this celestial body was packed full of extremities, cold, hot, arid, damp, rocky, plain, and any other adjective they could think of. It was simply idyllic, but it lacked movement, so they whipped up wind, rain, snow and seas. Then, for a bit of a giggle, they spun the thing on its axis, so each side would share the light of the nearby sun star to create warmer days and colder, darker nights. But it still lacked life. So they set about creating creatures to roam the lands, to fly in the air, and to swim the rivers, seas and oceans. Tens of thousands of life forms were formed to provide noise, movement and energy. From microscopic life forms and tiny insects to enormous whales. And inexplicably, the wasp. They even include a baboon with a bright red bum, although later each denied that one. The two had indeed created a utopian dream, but still it lacked something. So, while sitting back in their Parker Knowles and sipping on Glitterberry J2Os, they thought of creating a creature in their own image, an ultimate user of the planet. Mankind. This humanoid life form was given full biped status to rise over its contemporaries, and an opposable thumb was added to help handle his environment and significantly aid in bum scratching. and his brain was enlarged to cope with thought, understanding, and the detailed instructions on the side of a pot noodle. Every type was introduced, colour variants, age differences, ugly and handsome, charming and sweet people, alongside those that refused point blank to laugh while sat watching an open mic performance. Every type indeed. Something was still amiss, so they added another fundamental difference, a peculiar variant, which they called a woman. Then they thought she might get a bit busy, so they created many, many more. One indeed to match every man. She too was thin and fat, annoying and nice, patient or snappier than an alligator with his tail caught in the gorse bush, and had every conceivable hair colour. That's the description of each of them, not just the collective. In time, it became a place of majesty, a real wonderland to explore, and so inviting, both men wanted to be there. The longer they watched, the more fascinated they became as their created mass developed a life form of its own. Decisions were made and actions taken that couldn't be predicted. It all became fun. They wanted to join and be a part of it. The problem was the whole shebang took a smattering of admin. But as each were both stupendously powerful, clever, smart asses, there really only one was needed to run the system. In fact, they could do it blindfolded. Unfortunately for them, no blindfold was handy to actually prove this boast. So one day, a Friday on this occasion, they devised a set of highly complex, harrowing, dangerous, difficult and challenging tasks to determine who could go there. The tasks would take over 6 million years to complete and probably involve quite a few chocolate biscuit-fueled tea breaks. So they decided instead just to pull straws. But they couldn't be bothered with that sort of competitive complexity either, so they just tossed a coin. Well, God lost. And the other guy went down to earth to be born a man and live a life. And my name is Vince. Welcome to Twits! And I didn't do that baboon.
Please give it up for Vince Poynter. He talks about the stars, he's an absolute star himself, but please Poynter.